Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I'm Nancy Jose from Department of English, and in this video we'll discuss the topic detective fiction, which is included in our paper Popular Literature and Culture. So what is detective fiction? It is a subgenre of crime fiction. And in detective fiction, there will be a detective, an investigator. He'll either be an amateur one or a professional detective. He'll investigate the case and then solve a crime or a series of crimes involved. And detective fiction presents a mysterious event or crime. And this mysterious event or crime is not always a murder. And in the detective fiction, at first it conceals or hides a solution from the readers to create a doubtful, ambiguous, confused state of mind and situation. And then, towards the end, it is revealed through a successful, thorough investigation. And these fictional works rely on logic rather than magic and supernatural elements. And sometimes in the story, the wrong person will be accused based on the little evidence which confuse the readers, and it will create an enthusiasm in the readers. And the detective generally has nothing to gain from solving the crime, like nothing personal, to be gained. And the readers are challenged to solve by the clues provided. And the readers will be actively, thinking or using their logic to solve the case along with the detective. And the first widely acclaimed detective story in English literature was by Edgar Allan Poe, The Murder in the Rue Morgue. Edgar Allan Poe is an American short story writer and poet. He is also attributed to having created the first fictional detective, Auguste Dupin. And detective stories became more popular in the late 1880s with the coming of Sherlock Holmes of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. The immortal companion to Sherlock Holmes, Dr. Watson, is also Doyle's creation. In fact, the character of Holmes has even gone to the extent of having outlived his creator. So we can say that if Poe was the inventor of the detective novel, it was Arthur Conan Doyle who truly cemented this detective fiction genre as a popular literary genre. And the greatest of all fictional detectives, Sherlock Holmes, along with Dr. Watson, made his first appearance in Doyle's novel A Study in Scarlet, and it was published in 1887. So, G.K. Chesterton is another popular detective fiction writer, and he became equally popular with his detective stories centered on the detective priest named Father Brown. And the period, that is the early half of the 20th century, was a golden age of the detective story. And this was mainly because of Agatha Christie, and her works enriched the early half of 20th century. And her Hercule Poirot, a detective character, is accepted as the most long-lived detective characters ever created. And she is skilled in making the least likely suspect to turn out be the actual murderer. And now talking about the characteristics of detective fiction in general, the crime must be significant in a detective fiction because the crime is the center and it should be worthy of attention, and it should be worthy to catch the attention of the readers. Now, the second point, the detective must be a memorable character since he or she is the central figure in the story. He or she must be intelligent, clever, and observant. Okay, so some features should be there to distinguish him or her in the style of dressing, mannerisms, or the way of talking. Okay, so anyway, using all these things, or the detective must be made a memorable character. And the third one, there must be an outstanding opponent along with the exceptional detective. The opponent should match the hero, making the crime bit difficult and tricky to be solved. So there must be an outstanding opponent. And the fourth point, all suspects must be introduced to the readers, since the attraction of a detective story is the opportunity, that the readers get to try to figure out the solution, right? So all suspects must be introduced to the readers as well. And fifth one, all clues discovered must be shown to the readers. Uh, and the sixth characteristic is the solution must be obvious, logical, and possible. That is, the reason of the crime must not be, preferably it should not be resulting out of some accident or a supernatural intervention. So the solution or the detective fiction must be based on something obvious, logical, and possible. So that's about the detective fiction. And please write the characteristics of detective fiction as your assignment, and please find out some works too. So thank you for listening.